asked, I would deny it because of the warranty on the machine. After doing some extensive research, I have not found one person that has voided their warranty by changing the thermal grease on their CPU. Those of you that have the Acer Nitro 5 know that the CPU runs kind of hot, which in turn makes you uneasy to have long play sessions thinking you may damage your gaming machine. Another thing is that there are many threads on the internet trying to drop the temp on CPUs without changing the thermal grease, but to some it's not good enough or it just flat out doesn't work. I kind of got fed up with the temps as well and decided to do something about it. I figured I won't have this machine no more than a year or so it couldn't hurt. Today I will replace the thermal compound on the CPU and on the GPU. If you decide to follow my video, you do so at your own risk, so please don't hold me responsible if you blow your board up by forgetting to unplug the battery, etc. Things that I used are a couple of cotton swabs for cleaning up what the paper towels can't remove, some paper towels to remove the majority of the compound from the processors and heat sinks, and lastly, some Kryonaut thermal compound. I read a lot about thermal grease before making a purchase, and this seems to be the best for what I needed. Inside the bag was a spatula for spreading, instructions, and a 1 gram tube. Make sure to have any anti-static wrist strap bands with grounding wires attached to your person, or ground yourself with an anti-static mat before proceeding. Next, you will want to remove your hard drive in the extra bay if you have one. The memory modules will be fine and can stay put. Please refer to my video on the breakdown of the Acer Nitro 5 to remove the bottom plate. With all the screws removed along with the bottom plate, this is the section we will be working in. There are 11 screws that need to be removed. Before we proceed, let's unhook the battery from the board. Turn these screws counterclockwise. The fan screws will unscrew with no problem, but the CPU and GPU heatsink screws have a little resistance because of the thread lock. In my machine, there was a fan screw hiding under some black tape. With all the screws removed, gently pry the fans up with something that is blunt and plastic. I use my little Qdoba card that I've been using for a very long time. It does the job very well. As it loosens, do not lift directly up, but rather fold the hardware backwards. The CPU and GPU will now have the old compound exposed. Take a paper towel and wipe up the majority of it. Try not to leave any lint or towel fibers. use the cotton swabs to clean up, you can also use isopropyl alcohol to clean the CPU and GPU by adding a little bit to the swabs and rubbing gently. Don't forget to clean the copper heat sinks. Try not to touch the thermal pads that are already applied. When all is clean, open your compound and put a pea-sized drop on the processors. I know my pea size looks kind of large, but trust me, it's small. Do not use too much. Having a lot is almost as bad as having none, so be careful. There are different methods to apply, such as the X method and the line method. I use the pea-sized drop method, and it has not failed me yet. Now gently pick up the heatsink. It will be a little wobbly, so find some points that are stable to hold and lay it down flat. Do not push or press down. You want the screws to do the work as you screw them in. Replace all the screws. Try and use a crisscross method when putting them back. Do not tighten your screw all the way, and use a crisscross method with that as well. I mentioned in my last tutorial that I didn't use a magnetic driver. Since these screws were small, I didn't want to take a chance of them falling and hitting the board, so I magnetized my driver by rubbing it on a magnet. After you are done, you can clean your fans with compressed air that is made for electronics. Do this before you put the bottom panel back on. For some reason, it didn't remove some bunny hair, so I had to remove it manually. And even then, when I went back over it, I still seen just a little bit of hair, so I got that off. And let's not forget about the battery cable. You'll get it all assembled and wonder why it won't come on, and you're thinking your machine is broken. And it's all because of a cable we forgot. Alright, so let's get that plugged in. This is just an overview of all the screws that we removed and then put back, just so you can see. Also, we have a picture of the battery cable that we unhooked. So just in case you're missing some screws, hopefully this video will help you be able to get it back in the spot. But we know that's not going to happen, right? You can now fully reassemble your machine. Here's a recording of the Nitro 5 idle before repasting. Next, we have a 5-minute CPU stress test before, after, and undervolted. I used -.120. I sped it up using double speed. You can clearly see some improvement after the compound has been changed, and it even gets better with the Undervolt. In the Far Cry 5 test, we want to concentrate on the CPU. Clearly, there is a big range in temp. Where the 90s were common, it is now in the low 70s. This is freaking awesome. Can't believe it. Same thing with the Shadow of War benchmark. 78C for the stock and mid to lower 60s with the Undervolt. Not as a big jump as in Far Cry, but it's definitely an improvement. Battlefield 4 is killing it with temps on the stock staying in the high 80s and reaching into the 90s, while the Undervolt is never busting over 73. Lastly, I played some multiplayer in Battlefield 1 and wow, the numbers speak for themselves. It's like a ladder. Stock has the 80s, the Repaste has the 70s, and the Undervolt has the 60s. So there you have it. Changing the compound does make a difference on the Nitro 5, and if you want to see more benchmarks before the change, I'll have a link in the description. As a matter of fact, I'll have a link of all my other videos that may help some of you. Closing out, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. I'm getting close to the 1,000 subscriber goal, and I hope to get some new hardware to test with the help of some ad revenue, because I'm funding everything myself with my own money. I would like to thank all who have subscribed, and I really appreciate your help in building this channel and the community. And as always, I'll see you in the next game or stream. Meanpooh, out.
Fucking